Hi, guys. I'm Mark,
And I'm Marty.
and welcome to Stay in Your Lane. Today, we're going to talk about the pandemic and just some of the issues that have come up, some of the information that we've learned about, and how it has affected both addiction and sobriety.
Yeah, and one of the big things that I think we're all finding is through this pandemic, we're having a lot of more alone time or restricted time from our normal behaviors, where we're confined to our houses with our family members, and as we talked about in one of our past shows, is staying in your lane with family members and friends, and it's much more difficult when you're living in quarantine with each other. So I think that this is a great topic. Just as a reminder, please give us thumbs up, like our show, subscribe, check out our past shows, and get yourself caught up with where we're at and why we're doing this.
Yeah, I think when I look at the pandemic, I've had the ability to travel and spend some time in different areas, even though when in those areas, I've been confined to a house or a condo. Um, One of the biggest gifts in my sobriety has been learning how to value still time. So I think that came in really effective and helpful for me during the pandemic because the still time and the downtime I find rejuvenating. And I know a lot of people have felt isolated and alone during the pandemic because they've been thrown into, staying at home and not being surrounded by a sense of community. But I think the stillness is a gift.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I
when we
mean,
can,
I couldn't agree with you more on that, Mark. I mean, I applaud you for the work that you've done in this new chapter of your life, being able to identify the importance of being able to be still and enjoy it and finding new things to do with it. So I
right.
applaud you on that. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I think being busy has become a badge of honor in our society. And, we're the most prescribed, the most addicted, and the most overweight population in the American society that we've ever been. And I think that speaks volumes to the fact that we're just spinning out of control,
And
whether
one
it
of the
be
things to add to that, Mark, is that globally, the population of the United States uses 40% of all the products. We consume 40% of all the products for the world.
isn't that
So
amazing?
yeah, so talk about distraction and keeping busy, and so in filling our time with stuff.
Yes. And
So,
I don't want to generalize here because, when you discipline yourself to take the quiet time and take the still time, you feel the benefits of it. But we've all been guilty of, keeping up with the Joneses. I know family members who want their kids to do the exact same things that the neighbors' kids are doing. We're in a very slippery slope of benchmarking ourselves against what we think other people think is success or happiness or fulfillment. And carving out some still time and quiet time in your life, you can start to tap into your heart thinking, into your intuition. And that's what uncovers our authentic self and what lights us up, what ignites our passion, what fills our purpose. So I empathize with everyone who is struggling right now in the pandemic, but I also challenge you to take some of this still time and sit quietly, do a YouTube meditation, and see if you can tap into that heart thinking. It, I believe it will help through the challenging time.
yeah, I mean, and to actually just slow your thoughts, and because our thoughts are always rushing around. What bills need to be paid, the job that I work at, the car that I drive. You got to cut the grass. There's always going to be a plethora of things to pull you in all these different directions. You deserve the time to take for yourself, to have still time, to meditate, to read a book, whatever it is. I know that everybody tends to lean towards Netflix, right, as their escape. And that's fine. But there's also other things that I think that you can fill your time with that are going to be more fulfilling to your passion, your purpose. One of the big things that my behavioral therapist mentioned when I saw him again recently was that during the pandemic, that addictions at the hospital, his rounds at the hospital, that means that people's addictive behaviors have gotten to the point of hospitalizing them, have gone up 50%. And he's been doing this for 40 years. It's gone up 50% over 2019 in the amount of cases at the hospital right now, the rounds that he has to make. Because one of the big things is that you may have noticed during the pandemic is that liquor stores were able to stay open as essential businesses. And what he said is, and then people got an increase in their unemployment. They've got stimulus checks. They are having a problem finding other places to spend it. So what do? The socially accepted thing, drink,
Mm.
and have Zoom meetings with your family or friends, or and you're making sure that you're holding up your cocktail, and that it's just become socially accepted behavior. But it's a slippery slope, like you said, especially being in lockdown with whatever your addiction is.
Oh, absolutely. And I would be sitting here right now lying to you if I was still drinking during this pandemic. I very easily probably could have drank myself to death,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
I know how habitual and I know how comfortable and I know how easy it was for me to isolate and just drink cocktails all day. And so I am so grateful right now for my sobriety. I'm so grateful that I've learned how to value my still time and my quiet time. Again, meditation, taking time for yourself, it's like exercising a muscle. You can't just start doing it and expect to feel the results from it. Even if you have to start off 30 seconds a day, sit in a chair quietly with your eyes closed, or pull up a guided meditation on YouTube. They're so powerful, so
yeah.
powerful.
And to each person, it's going to be their own thing. Whatever they find to take that quality time for themselves. In actuality, if you think about it, what a better time during this pandemic to strengthen your sobriety or get on the path to sobriety. You don't have that peer pressure, from when you're going out to the bar and you walk in that door. And I think everybody on the show knows that feeling of you walk up to the table, everybody's got a cocktail, and they're like, let me get you one, or da da da, and you all of a sudden you're like, okay, and instead of being like, well, I'll have a Diet Coke, or I'll pass, or I'll have a water. Use the pandemic lockdown to really strengthen yourself, whatever method that you use to do that, right? And it's a great time to escape that peer pressure.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like I experienced more peer pressure in my adult life when I stopped drinking than I ever did as an adolescent. And again, I think it's purely because it has become such a socially accepted thing. We drink for everything in the American society, and a lot of other societies as well. We
Yeah,
drink to celebrate, we drink to grieve. We drink because it's been a hard day at work. We drink because it's been a great day at work. Um, it's so easy.
yeah. And but we also talked about other things, is sugar, like the treating yourself to sugary desserts, and and how sugar itself is so addictive, but we turn a blind eye to it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And
And I think,
there's
just if I can interject here real
yeah.
quickly, Marty and I, our personal journey has been drugs and alcohol. I want to shout out real quick to anyone struggling with a sugar addiction,
Mhm.
a food addiction. a sex addiction, addictions that aren't necessarily brought to the forefront of a lot of conversations. And food and sugar, I empathize with so much because you have to have food to live. So battling a food addiction is so difficult. So I want everyone to feel welcome here. And every time we use the word alcohol or use the word drugs, we're also talking about all of the addictions that people
Yeah,
are
because
struggling with.
there's also material addiction. People like going out and buying stuff, like a shopping addiction,
Shopping,
or
yes.
yeah. So this is an all-inclusive show. Everybody's welcome, and if there's something that we haven't like brought up or talked about, please, send us a note on YouTube, about things that we've overlooked, so that we can talk about it. And if you want to be a guest or so on the show, and if there's something that we can add to this, we will welcome you. Let's start by just getting your comments sent in, make it our show, and strengthen the topics that we talk about. This is so broad of a topic, addiction, that we need people's help to make this show a success.
Absolutely. And I think, in the midst of this pandemic and not knowing what the fall and the winter are going to bring, if we can be 15 minutes of sunshine in your day or a little bit of strength in your day, we want to be that because in doing this, we are strengthening our own journey. And we're so appreciative for that.
It's that healthy selfish.
Yes, healthy selfish for sure.
Right? And which we've talked about on our past show. If you want, check it out. But healthy selfish, it helps you stay in your lane.
Yes, indeed. So thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to bringing you more great content. Like and subscribe to our channel. And again, please email us any show topics or ideas that you might have.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you for spending your time with us, and thank you. I mean, obviously, you or a loved one is in need of support, and it took a lot for you to come to our show. We want to see you back again. So remember to like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you again.
All right, take care.